I'm John Kroger. I'm the president of Reed College, and on behalf of all of the faculty, staff, and trustees here at Reed, I want to welcome you to today's commencement. And before we do anything else, let's just take a moment to congratulate the graduating class of 2018. I always think it's important to start this day by expressing gratitude. And so I want to take a few moments for some thank yous this morning. First, could I ask the graduating class to stand up for a moment? This cracks me up. Your work has been heavily criticized for 4 years, and now you're applauded for standing, which... I wanted all to take a moment to reflect a little bit on the fact that no matter who we are, we rarely get any place in life without support from friends, family, partners, spouses. And so if you would just take a moment and turn and face all of our guests today, and give them a loud thank you for the support over the term of your college career. And now, you can stay standing. And next I want to take a moment and recognize our faculty and staff. No one works harder at Reed to provide a great education than they do. Their care and commitment all of the time is just remarkable. So could I ask my faculty and staff colleagues to rise so we can all thank you? Now, everyone can once again sit. And I want to say two special thank yous. We have two long-serving Reed College faculty members who are retiring at the end of this year. They are two persons who have left an indelible mark on the college through their commitment to teaching, to scholarship. They are truly beloved members of the community, and though they will always be around campus, I suspect, I wanted to take a moment to thank them specifically as they take emeritus status. First, Professor of Physics Johnny Powell. Johnny, would you stand? And Professor of Classics and Humanities Walter Engler. With that, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the chairman of the Reed College Board of Trustees, Dr. Roger Perlmutter.
Good morning. I'm Roger Perlmutter. As John said, it is my privilege to chair the Board of Trustees of Reed College, and on behalf of the Reed Institute, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the 104th commencement exercise of Reed College. In reality, the college was started 110 years ago. And so this is a special moment because it is the end of the first decade of our second century. When we gather to celebrate the individual accomplishments of the class of 2018, it's important to keep in mind what this place was like at the time the college was founded. This small little outpost in a remote corner of the Pacific Northwest, where it was believed from the time of the founding that the benefits of a liberal arts education could be conferred upon the citizenry through the establishment of a college devoted to developing scholarship, critical thinking, and pursuing the close reading of texts. The class of 2018 has experienced that good and proper and has run that gauntlet successfully. It is an important aspect of intellectual growth, and it is growth not just in scholarship, but also a personal voyage of some magnitude, which those of us who experienced this decades ago remember fondly. This is also a day, as John mentioned, for gratitude. And in particular, I would like to express the gratitude of our community to President Kroger, who for 6 years has advanced the cause of the college as it progressed from strength to strength. That small little liberal arts college that was a gleam in the eye of Amanda Reed 110 years ago has emerged to have enormous impact around the world. It is through the efforts of its graduates, but more importantly, it is through the steadfast commitment to the principles that I just articulated. Over the past 6 years, President Kroger has advanced the cause of scholarship here. He's increased the diversity of the campus and improved it enormously. He's increased the strength of the institution, and he's given us the gift of his own steadfast commitment to the importance of liberal arts. Please join me in thanking President Kroger for his 6 years of service. Members of the class of 2018, today is your day, and you are passing from the ranks of students to the ranks of alumni. We, like you, are grateful for that passage, not because we are sorry to see you leave, but because we are proud of you and proud of the contributions that you will make as you use the tools that you have worked so hard to gain here at Reed to have a broad impact on human society. To welcome you to the ranks of the alumni, it is my pleasure to introduce Lisa Saldana, who chairs the Alumni Board. Lisa?
Thank you. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the next phase of your Reed experience. You might have thought that you were done. Little did you know that these 4 years you've spent on campus were just the beginning, just a fraction of your membership into the Reed community. And this membership is one that you are uniquely qualified for. Regardless of your experience throughout your time on campus, there are a community of Reedies who recognize what you have been through. There are alumni who never wanted to leave, and there are those who never wanted to look back, and everything in between. No matter where you consider yourself on the spectrum, there is a community that is here and ready to welcome you. Not surprisingly, there are many theories on what community means and how it is defined. However, each of the theories have a very shared emphasis on recognizing that there is a network of individuals that are tied together by solidarity, shared identity, and a shared set of norms. Now, this means more than, sharing images in our head of late night antics, trying to, transport a very heavy concrete owl. This means that there is a safety net below to catch you as you strive towards contributing to the world. The Reed community is like family, but they are a family that you selected and then selected you back. And like family, with all the pros and cons, there are aspects that will stay with you forever. But remember, Reed will not define you. It is you and what you do that defines Reed. Reed was one of the most challenging experiences of my life, not just the academics, that was expected, but learning that sometimes you can try as hard as you can, and yet there is still someone else in the room who has a more brilliant idea or has a more insightful comment. And more importantly, learning that you actually want to be in the room with those people who have better ideas and have more insightful comments, because that is where innovation and brilliance begins. But we all know that innovation is risky and hard, and most of it results in failure. And I'm sure that many of you have heard the expression, failing forward. From all failed experience, there is something to be learned, some small bit of the puzzle that keeps us building the next set of innovations. And sometimes what we learn is something as basic as, yeah, never gonna do that again. But sometimes what is learned are the little incremental bits that in turn set the stage for the next round of attempts. And when I was at Reed, there was an environment that fostered failing forward, and this lesson has carried with me ever since. I had the great fortune of being involved in multiple independent projects and the privilege of experimenting alongside fellow students who were equally curious, but also equally respectful of the fact that our hypotheses were not always going to work out as planned. And I had the benefit of knowing that the incremental steps that we were taking would indeed build the knowledge that was not only going to inform our work that day, but inform our futures. But little did I know that one of the most valuable lessons through all of that I was going to learn would be that building those intellectual and collegial bonds were going to carry me to this very day. That has only strengthened through my connection with my alumni community. I am able to take risks knowing that I have a safety net to catch me, the safety net of the Reed community to grow from, the safety net of having confidence that what I learned from Reed was far stronger than anything I could have learned alone as a single individual. And today I am here to cast that safety net below each and every one of you. So what does this mean practically? Many of you will stay in Portland and others will spread all around the world. If you go to the alumni page, you will see that there are many chapter cities throughout the country, and in fact, even the world. And if you do live in a chapter city, I encourage you to seek out this built-in community to not only participate in their stimulating events, but to build relationships that can last far beyond the time that you spent here on campus. But not everyone will find themselves in a chapter city. I myself am one of those individuals. So I want to assure you and encourage you and have confidence that that safety net is just as strong for you as it is for others. I encourage you to seek out opportunities to stay connected through the many faceted ways that Reed continues to bring us together, whether it be in person at reunions, a heated debate in a virtual book club, enjoying one of the several multiple committees that we have through the alumni board that we welcome you to join and be a part of. There are travel study experiences or a weekend at Westwind. In all of these, there is an entire community of alumni who again welcome you. And through these experiences, you will build a new network of supports, friends, mentors, and collaborators made up of people who have never met before and who will understand where you have been and who will also be rooting for you as you continue to wind that path toward wherever it is that you still find yourself wanting to go. So today, I welcome you to the Reed alumni community, one to which you actually already belong, but one that is here to provide you with that safety net. And I know that this sounds trite, but I ask you to also just take a moment to smell in what Reed is. When I come here, the dampness of the campus, it's like a time travel machine for the senses. And as we do that, I am reminded of me being able to give everything that I could at that point in time in life when I was here at Reed. But trust me when I say that your greatest achievements are in fact still to come. And to get there, I wish you the opportunity for failure. And on behalf of the Alumni Board and as your president, I am humbled to offer congratulations to you, class of 2018. Thank you.
By tradition, the graduating class selects a distinguished prior graduate of the college to give the commencement address. They typically choose someone who reflects the values of the graduating class and someone who's pursued the career and ideals that the class holds dear. It is with great honor that I get to introduce our commencement speaker, Dr. Preetha Rahman. Preetha is a very distinguished scientist and global health diplomat. She was a graduate of Reed College in the class of 1994 in biology. Where are the biologists? And received her PhD in epidemiology from Johns Hopkins. She has authored over 100 scientific papers on public health, on cancer, and on genomics. She currently serves as the United States government's health attaché for India, and she has flown from India to speak with us today. So please, let's give a very warm welcome to Preetha Rahman.
Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations, class of 2018. It's hard to believe, but 4 years of intense work are finally behind you. Maybe there were a couple of computer crashes along the way, doubtless some late-night gatherings as you procrastinated, maybe some scrambling for those final signatures, but here you are, all done, and what a journey it's been. Give yourselves a big hand. Woo! And thank you for this incredible honor. I'm still quite blown away by your invitation, to tell the truth. It feels so unlikely for me to be here on this side of the podium. And in fact, it feels so unlikely that I even ever made it to the other side of the podium 25 years ago, when Reed and America decided to take a chance on me. I grew up in what was then a small town in Botswana, in a fairly conservative Indian community. It was unusual at the time to send a 16-year-old girl off to another continent for an education, and my parents faced a lot of questions over that decision. On the face of it, my odds of ending up at a place like Reed were incredibly small. But if you look a little bit deeper, maybe they weren't all that small. The people around me that I'd always taken for granted actually made coming to Reed part of a natural life journey. But it's taken that space and distance for me to understand that the challenges that they faced were actually the true beginning of my journey of 10,000 miles to come to college. At that time, apartheid was still deeply entrenched in neighboring South Africa, and something that I personally experienced every time I crossed the border that was just 10 miles away from my home. It's probably hard for many of you to imagine now that just a few decades ago, where I could eat or whether I could use a particular restroom was determined by law, entirely by the color of my skin. The high school that I attended in Botswana, on the other hand, was founded by a handful of dedicated teachers from that same South Africa who wanted to show that multiracial education was not only possible, but inevitable, and that it would produce stellar scholars of all stripes and colors. Perhaps more important, they envisioned a school that would create understanding and respect between people of different races, classes, faiths, and cultures. The sheer contrast in thinking in towns that were just miles apart couldn't have been greater. My first glimpse into the fragility of the peace and freedom that we took for granted arrived one morning with the sound of helicopters in our normally quiet town as we labeled diagrams of a Bunsen burner. Our teacher, a man full of life, intellect, and humor, froze at the chalkboard. Within minutes, he had disappeared from the classroom, leaving our group of 9th grade students completely befuddled. Over the next few days, we learned that 12 people had been killed that day in what was, in fact, a South African military raid targeting African National Congress activities in Botswana. I also learned that the science teacher, one of my favorites, in fact, was a political exile fighting for a free South Africa. Without warnings or goodbyes, he had left overnight for the safety of the United States. The experience jolted me into the realization that his commitment to freedom and equality had demanded far more than just teaching at a multiracial school, and that the United States at that time had stood up to defend global freedom and democracy. When it came time to apply to colleges, it was in fact a couple of American students from that same school who convinced me to apply to Reed. When I was accepted, though, I wasn't sure my parents would send me. Thinking back, I'm not really sure why I was so surprised. My parents had fought norms in their own way. My father had given up his sacred thread and his caste name, a big no-no in his Hindu Brahmin community, but one that he felt did not reflect the egalitarian society that India should become. My mother was not one to conform to norms either. As a college student, she had roamed the streets of Bangalore in a burqa just to experience what life was like as a Muslim. That horrified her family. But yet, when I was leaving for college, she admonished me sternly, "I hope you won't come back calling yourself a feminist." I have to laugh at this memory. Did it really matter if I called myself a feminist? For what's in a name? While I derive hope from the fact that some gross injustices, like apartheid in South Africa, are a thing of the past, we're still some distance away from a fair and equitable world. Here in the United States, we're concerned that Black lives don't seem to matter. Children are exposed to gun violence. Women still face harassment at workplaces. Jobs are being lost in rural America. Some of you may have engaged on one or more of these issues, and I applaud your passion for justice, ethics, and the value of life. I invite you to take one step further and experience the world as a minority. Live and engage in communities that are very different from yours. What does it mean to wonder if you're breaking the rules because you don't know what they are, to not understand the language that is spoken around you, to not have resources, regardless of what your race might be? After truly engaging in those worlds, it becomes harder to judge quickly or easily. And I think that's a good thing, because these are complex issues and they deserve deep and layered thinking. And in order to create a change, the truth is, you usually have to work with people who may think very differently than you do. Here in the US, for example, the idea of valuing life for the purposes of healthcare seems fundamentally and ethically wrong to most of us. Let's take the example of a new drug for cancer care. How much would you pay for a drug that could extend the life of someone that you love for a few weeks or a few months? In a situation where resources are unlimited, maybe every one of those days is worth the extra money for you. The perspective, however, is very different in India, where more than 60 million people fall into poverty each year as a result of their spending on healthcare. And many there feel that treating patients with expensive drugs that extend lives for just a matter of weeks is in fact ethically wrong. Trying to find common ground within complex issues such as these often involves having difficult discussions and coming to the table without prejudice or labeling of others who hold viewpoints that may be starkly different from our own is essential to finding a solution. The only true voyage of discovery, said Proust, would be not to visit strange lands, but to possess other eyes, to behold the universe through the eyes of another, of 100 others, to behold the 100 universes that each of them beholds, that each of them is. An inevitable part of that voyage is to accept uncertainty and embrace change. You may recall from the infamous Hume 110 that you cannot step twice into the same rivers, for new waters are flowing in upon you. For those of you wondering, that's Heraclitus. Although my own path looks quite linear, it actually wasn't. I arrived at Reed intending to major in literature or theater and emerged quite unexpectedly as a biologist. Some of you may be facing uncertainty right now as you're wondering what is next for you. Sitting under the same tent that you are now, I knew that I'd already been accepted at the Yale School of Forestry, but I also knew that I wouldn't be attending until I had somehow found the money to go there. So I found myself back in Botswana trying to piece together odd jobs, including working at a small wildlife reserve, teaching, and collating data for the Ministry of Health. And that experience actually convinced me to reapply to graduate schools, but this time in public health. I graduated from Johns Hopkins with a degree in epidemiology and joined the US National Cancer Institute as a postdoctoral fellow. My next unexpected turn was in the middle of that fellowship, when my father died abruptly of a heart attack that could easily have been prevented, but just wasn't detected until too late. This really woke me up to the fact that even the best medical research can't save someone's life unless the systems are in place to deliver it. Since my dad had owned a small business that needed taking care of, and there's nobody else to do it, I prepared to resign and move to Botswana, not knowing what would come next. I remain grateful to this day that my supervisor refused to accept that resignation, saying, "Return in a year with your final decision." So I put aside my personal grief, took time out for my research on brain tumors, and moved back to learn about balance sheets, managing payrolls, how to value and sell a business. I didn't have the faintest clue how to do any of this before I got there, but that was my life for a year. It was a tough year, but one that taught me some practical budget and management skills that it turns out are actually quite useful for a scientist. I also experienced firsthand the need for equitable access to medical care, a problem that I now address daily in my current job. This brings me to my most recent turn, which happened when my husband, a development economist, wanted to move to India to be more hands-on in his research. To say that I was conflicted about leaving a great research position right before my tenure for an uncertain job in a country that I hardly knew would be a massive understatement. Until one of my mentors reminded me, you can continue to define the shape of the dose-response curve at low doses of radiation, and that would be an excellent contribution to science. Or you could move to India and do something about the millions of lives there. So I moved to India, transitioning from pure research to work that involved building global programs, forging connections between people and countries, and contributing to the big picture of science and policy. Last year, my good friend and colleague from India invited me to plant a tree at the opening of the first Center for Cancer Epidemiology in the country, a center that I had closely advised and collaborated with from its beginnings as 4 lines on a piece of paper. The tree, he said, symbolizes not only what we have built together until now, but also what will grow far beyond these initial connections. I love that metaphor, because in fact, the roots of that work draw from my collaboration and experience all the way back to Reed. Who knew, for example, that when I studied the population genetics of frogs with Bob Kaplan in the mountains of Korea 20 years ago, that those skills would inform international studies of the genetics of gallbladder cancer today. Thanks, Bob. Throughout all this change, I have been anchored by an incredible group of mentors, teachers, colleagues, family and friends from all walks of life and every part of the globe. And as you've heard from many of the speakers before me, I hope that you realize your collection has already begun and will continue to grow over the years. I will leave you with a final thought. You may have heard the saying, may you live in interesting times. But whether any of us personally lives in interesting times is entirely up to us, isn't it? We could live in the most interesting of times, but not be aware enough to realize this, to learn from it, or to reach beyond our own zone of comfort to engage with it. In all likelihood, the world will change far more quickly for you than it did for my generation or for the generations before. And as you plunge into that changing world, don't forget to take the essence of Reed with you. I know that you thought very carefully about your speaker this year. And it is not lost on me that your invitation shows that the America that welcomed one curious young girl from Africa all those years ago is alive still in each of you. And this gives me immense hope for the country. Keep embracing the world. Dive deep. Never stop learning. Congratulations again, class of 2018. I look forward to seeing your names in the news, in the award ceremonies, and in the neon lights in the years to come.
Will the candidates of the Division of the Arts please rise?
Mr. President, I present for the degree of Bachelor of Arts the candidates, both present and in absentia, of the Division of the Arts.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty of Reed College, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon the students of this division the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining.
Benjamin Joseph Barron. Eden Rachel Chin. Caleb Josiah Cotting. Autumn B. Ginty Wheeler. Olivia Rose Hazenkamp. Violet McAfee. Annabelle Blue McCall. Ava I. McRitchie. Cedra Natalia Morgan Montoya. Shiloh Dreamstar Sydney Schatzkammer. Mackenzie Simone Schuler. Somerset Rose Caroline Thompson. Yi Yang Wang. Ziola Watt. Daniel Thomas Woodruff. Rika Ellen Yotsumoto. Will the graduates please be seated? Will the candidates of the Division of History and Social Sciences please rise?
Mr. President, I present for the degree of Bachelor of Arts the candidates, both present and in absentia, of the Division of History and Social Sciences.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty of Reed College, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon the students of this division the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining.
Aiden H. Anders. Britta Carolyn Avery. Claire Sanders Baker. Josephine Dorothy Baker. Emily Joy Barr. Eliana Aurora Binder. Walker K. Boland. Jesse Talman Boss. Zachary Nathaniel Scott Bowles. Alexandra Kelly Boyd. Ian Gordon Buckman. Annalisa Marie Cohen. Natalie Beth Condon. Laura Marie DeLego. Eleanor Grace Deneg. Viraj Desai. Helen Kathleen Edelman. Modupe Olua Aduke Fashawe. Nathan Lawrence Feldman. Patrick Joseph Graham. Monica Krasimirova Grueva. Akshay Kumar Hariprasad. Pedro Tofua Enriquez da Silva. Mauricio Hernandez. Jessica Lee Hutchison. Cooper Kariani Jackson. Luke Gabriel Yilka Maskarinek. Daniel Boguslav Kaufman. Ryan Elise Keithan. Emily King. Edward Solomon Kropf. Christina Kutatelli. Taylor James LaPrairie. Sydney Virginia Lewis. Chad Malcolm. Danica Jean Martin. Shiloh Astrid McKinnon. Sabrina Rose Nelson. Jenna Elizabeth Narosky. Eira Margarita Nylander Torayas. Marjorie May Oxley. Adam Zachary Pease. Samuel Thomas Playshow Binder. Janelle Dinu Powell. Malcolm Jan Reagan. Connor Resnick. Gabriel T. Richardson. Sophie Rebecca Spencer Zavos. Rudyard Lewis Summers. Shauna Carolyn Switzer. Dahlia Jade Tang. Jolon Richard Timms. Noah Kincaid Truesdale. Ophelia Ekaterini Vedder. Patricia Ann Watson. Mary Helen Witcher. Christy Jo Williams. Catherine Jayun Jung. Will the graduates please be seated? Will the candidates of the Division of Literature and Languages please rise?
Mr. President, I present for the degree of Bachelor of Arts the candidates, both present and in absentia, of the Division of Literature and Languages.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty of Reed College and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon the students of this division the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining.
Akrish Adhikari. Zachary Laurent Beauregard. Timmy Elizabeth Beeshold. Mia Burcham. Joshua Nicholas Byron Cox. Olivia Ella Churchwell. Erica Michelle Enge. Marlon Francis Frizzell. Sarah Jean Carter Gelvin. Clara Sofia Gross Santos. Griffin Hancock. Caroline Ann Holt. Gwyn McConway Levitt. Taylor Danby Lee. Brandon Papas Morrow. Emmett Alexander Martin. Thomas Lloyd Maud Griffin. Caroline Frances McCullough. Louis Wilson Mendez. Alexander Delgadillo Moses. Aaron Saul Posner. Costanza Grace Razi. Fiona Rockwell. Jenna Jane Rutenberg. Zoe Smith Sinisi. Amanda Marion Shores. Antonia Sofia Nalisnik Silva. Quinn Hasbrook Spencer. Elizabeth Buggy Stallings. Allison Lee Tardio. Olivia Daisy Veazey. Christine Olivia Wetzel. Jessica Arabella Audrey Wolfson. William Young Wu. Sebastian Mateo Zinn. Will the graduates please be seated? Will the candidates of the Division of Mathematics and Natural Sciences please rise?
Mr. President, I present for the degree of Bachelor of Arts the candidates, both present and in absentia, of the Division of Mathematics and Natural Sciences.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty of Reed College and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon the students of this division the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining.
Maaza Dawit Abata. Hulali Grace Pua'a Alford. Kenji Wang Arai. Maggie Jose Asher. Shannon Kyle Batchelor. Revant Bagaria. Brian Langston Barrett. Sky Ryota Binniger. Benjamin James Black. Sarah Marie Brodesser. Sean Burke. Zachary Sean Campbell. Kealissa Makana Aloha Castillo Martin. Matthew Chow. Tang Ha Chu. Orion Archer Cohen. Giovanni Runjong Corti. Javin DeMello Folsom. Oop. Trenton Ross Freeman. Elias Hasty Friedman. Ian Michael Fries. Mia Scott Galbraith Liss. Elliot Eileen Garling. Wanani M. Gomez von Kortright. Alexander H.W. Grant. Dashiell Grusky. Christopher Allen Hale. Farhanul Hassan. Natalie K. Hawkins. Christopher James Walsh Henn. Jessica Alexandra Hernstadt. Thomas Tien An Huang. Andy Namia Anuhea Kawakami Hoshijo. Dong Hwan Im. Denis Sergeyevich Ivanov. Balak Jen. Cecile Emmanuel Aipio Kenny. Jesse Kim. Nathaniel Elliott Klein. Davis Alexander Kusnik. Alyssa Kwok. Ryan C. Ho Kwok. Marguerite Rose Laser. Guoyu Liu. Mark Anthony Loya. Akanksha Majumdar. Hannah Elizabeth McConnell. Katie Ann McPherson. Sage Ross Michaels. Matthew Alexander Muller. Emily Margaret McAllister Palmer. Asia Francesca Prosita. Sarah Roch. Jethary Rader. Jimena Ramos. Kaylin Marie Rosenberg. Julian Andrew Ryder. Mark Douglas Schultz. Noah James Schofer. Mitra Shokat. Andrew William Simler. Avehi Singh. Trevor Drew Susi. Elias Michael Spiliotopoulos. Catherine Marie Stelmach. Wu Rib Ribby Sa. Amanda Elise Swanson. Machas Gabor Sabo. Aaron Lawrence Till. Daniel Rosenmeyer Timby. Rosalind Tovar. Joshua Brian Sang. Morgan Glenn Vague. Avery Leah Van Duzer. Oliver Fales Wass. Emerson Hikari Webb. Petra Wingard. Christian James Wilson. Georgia Mariko Huegi Wang. Kevin Wang. Mitikon Wuttanan. Samuel Michael Ranowski. Anton Yevgenyevich Zaitsev. Helen Jingyi Zhang. Ali Osman Cox. Will the graduates please be seated? Will the candidates of the Division of Philosophy, Religion, Psychology, and Linguistics please rise?
Mr. President, I present for the degree of Bachelor of Arts of the candidates, both present and in absentia, of the Division of Philosophy, Religion, Psychology, and Linguistics.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty of Reed College, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon the students of this division the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining.
Karina Marisela Aragon. Cody Harold Bisans. Sidney Eugene Buttrell IV. Rachel Ann Karate. Yuan Young Chang. Dagan Kadari Douglas. Tara Sky Friedman. Catherine Claire Garland. Ge Xiao. Hunter Tyler Gill. Cleo Fiery Goldstein. Shira Sarah Hammerslaw. Sophie Mary Talale Harvey. Willis Minley Jenks. Liam Sebastian Kech Vargas. Nicole Page Khan. Ava Linda Song Lee Kam. Savannah Christina Kaufman. Lindsay A. Krebs. V. R. Kreth. Emily Madison Eastman McCalman. Michelle Elizabeth Eastman McCalman. Kendra Allison Marsh. Gregor McGee. Sophia Lilas McKean. Robert Ryan Murphy. Kevin Mark Ortego Jr. Sarah Louise Perlman. Samantha Elena May Peterson. Charles R. Rich. Jacob Valentine Sapir. Clarice C. Sky Johnson. Ellery Leah Sloan Barton. Genevieve Cecilia Spear. Catherine Adele Steele. Greenie Kristen Lifka Sullivan. Juliette Yannicka Trippier. Evan Jackson Tucker. Zuyun Levy Wang. Dustin Peter Weinreb. Caroline Bell Wright. Tianfang Yang. Tomu. Will the graduates please be seated? Will the candidates who have completed interdisciplinary majors please rise?
Mr. President, I present for the degree of Bachelor of Arts the candidates, both present and in absentia, who have completed interdisciplinary majors.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty of Reed College and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon these candidates the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining.
Jamanish Antenna. Connor Claire Cantrell. Kami Yun-Hei Chu. Emily Jane Clark. Shinkei Quentin Dickens. Matthew Blake Dickinson. Allison Elizabeth Fortune. Nevada Harris. James G. Holland. Aaron Howell. Sirat Chaj. Destiny Rael Krennick. Elaine Elizabeth Kushkowski. Joshua Norman Lash. Elise Isabel Levy. Boyuan Lee. Mitchell Linegar. Fiona Janine Martin. Grace Caitlin McNally. Anna Josepha Janu Miller. Rachel Elizabeth Schulingkamp. Delen Solis. Teresa Steele. Brianna Shannon Walker. Hunter Navta Wise. Edward Alexander Whitty. Keita Yagi. Will the graduates please be seated? Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Arts in Liberal Studies please rise?
Mr. President, I present for the degree of Masters of Arts in Liberal Studies the candidates both present and in absentia.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty of Reed College and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon these candidates the degree of Master of Arts with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining.
Margaret A. Grove. Mark James Pettibone. Catherine Ann Stenstrom. Will the graduates please be seated? I now invite your applause for the class of 2018.